sketching and planning stuff and writing down stuff we needed. That was pretty much the first day. The second day, we got our Raspberry Pis, we hooked them up, and we started programming, like practicing our programming, and we made LEDs flash, and we learned about Ohm's law, some of the how the circuits work. The third day, well, he was at home, not sleeping, getting us parts. We were getting motors, but they were all different. So, and we figured out that the Raspberry Pi doesn't control 2 motors. So we got the Arduino and kind of played around with that a little bit, testing to see if motors work, like soldering some wires together to, I don't know, just put them together. The next day, we tested more with motors. We started planning, or we started building, and
on Friday, we just pretty much finished
and then today we just put everything together.
Well, the reason that we switched from Raspberry Pi to Arduino is because the Raspberry Pi system, it doesn't put out enough current. So what will happen is pretty much the motors, it makes it impossible to kind of use them. Not to mention that the Raspberry Pi, these motors use a certain type of, it needs a certain pin or programmed thing, and you can only do one of them on the Raspberry Pi.
You can only control one
motor.
You
can only control one motor.
And 2 other problems were the Raspberry Pi needed exactly 5 volts put into it at all times to power it. So it was a pain, and we didn't have enough time to make like a battery pack to power it, and
it wasn't a problem.
Well, it would have taken extra time. And the program, it would have to be connected to the computer in order for the program to be like the Arduino. You can unplug it and just add a power source, and it'll save the program that we just typed up today, unlike the Raspberry Pi.
When you type in when you start to run the program, it actually saves it into the chip, and that way when it doesn't have to be connected to a computer for it to actually run. It makes it easier to make things wirelessly.
And like I said, today we just built it, found out half of our problems with our build, and we used duct tape to fix everything. And that was basically our week.
Okay, let's open for questions.
You said something about bars that needed to be printed.
Oh, yeah. This ramp, this black ramp, originally on Thursday, because we had to have a plan B just in case these weren't made, because we didn't know till yesterday that they were going to be made. So we made this makeshift ramp and box. This box just made out of regular cardboard, and Jacob brought in coffee sticks, and we kind of just made a ramp out of that.
Well, to kind of fill you in, actually the guy in charge, I think, of the office or something over there at the workshop, he was nice enough to let us use the 3D printers. So we were able to kind of design our 3D printouts on some software, and basically we weren't exactly sure whether we would actually get the 3D printouts or not, so we just wanted to be sure. And
This was like our plan
Yeah.
B. If this wasn't printed, this is what would be used.
Other questions?
Yeah. From this cycle, the
RSDLC.
what was the most challenging part?
The testing, I would say, because when we would test it, nothing would work. So we had to go, or testing and analyzing, we would test it, see what was going wrong, and then we would start over, see what our goal was, then design to see if we can make it work again, and we would just kind of go around the circle over and over again until it worked.
Any other